People in Lafayette County might need a new route to get to work this morning. We've got an update on road and school closures from Southwest Wisconsin.
And a popular downtown Madison park could soon get a pretty snazzy new addition. And a city group will get its first look at plans for that shelter.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. It is Wednesday, October 3rd. We now know, guys, who it's going to be for the Brewers when they take on their first postseason experience here in 7 seasons. Pretty impressive, right?
Pretty nice.
I know, yeah. Brewers fans now know that it will be the Rockies, the Colorado Rockies, that they face tomorrow. They finally beat the Cubs in the longest wild card game in MLB history.
Crazy game last night, or should we say this morning?
Lots of celebration.
Right. Ooh, a little bit wild, yeah. Well deserved for that team. Lots of Brewers fans, though, happy to see the Cubbies fall 2-1 in last night's 13-inning wildcard game. We're going to have more on what that means for the Brew Crew. That's coming up a little bit later. But it certainly feels like baseball weather today.
Middle of baseball season.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like October baseball at all.
No, not at all.
If they were playing today, the roof could maybe be open if they're playing during the day. Temperatures will be warm enough. We have an alert day, though, in the forecast. Take a look at this. The severe weather is possible through mainly the evening hours. High winds and hail, as well as brief heavy rain. Here's a look at Doppler track. Right now, no rain imminent for southern Wisconsin. We definitely don't need any more rain, but unfortunately, it is in the forecast. Temperatures over the next 12 hours will climb to highs in the low 80s today. Not unusual to hit 80 in October. We typically do it once in the month, so this might be our time. Much cooler weather is settling in for tomorrow. South winds, though, will be strong today as well. Here's a look at your first alert traffic this morning. So far, things have been pretty quiet here in Madison. Some road closures, though, in southwestern Wisconsin and Lafayette County near Darlington, also near Blanchardville, due to some flooding issues there, so be aware of that. Otherwise, here in Madison, just a few brake lights starting to show up on that westbound belt line right now as traffic increases in volume. Your first alert traffic travel times, though, still looking pretty normal for this time of the day.
That's what we'd like to see, especially with those flooded roads that we've been seeing all morning here.
Yeah, unfortunately, more rain on the way later tonight.
All right, we'll check in with you. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
More rain in Hattie's forecast. Not good news for the roads already closed over western Wisconsin. Highway 81 outside Darlington is blocked in both directions this morning, as is Highway 23 there. And that school district is actually closed for the day because of high water. Both County G and K in Lafayette County have been flooded since last night. Yesterday, Darlington firefighters had to rescue a woman from her car on K. No injuries or damage has been reported yet, but emergency management crews do expect water levels on the Pecatonica to rise.
Then here in Madison, city engineers are watching lake levels in case of potential flooding and more street closures here. The city's engineering department says water levels haven't peaked this time around, at least not yet, but if those levels rise another inch or two, it could cause closures on East Johnson Street, that same area around the Tenney Dam that shut down for weeks during the last round of flooding. It's not just the pavement being covered in water, by the way. Fields in our area have gotten swamped by the rain heading into the fall harvest.
All that rain is also keeping visitors away from area orchards during an already pretty short apple picking season. Our Josh Sprider is live at Appleberry Farm outside Cross Plains this morning with how their numbers are looking. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. We've spoken to many orchards in our area trying to salvage what they can of the rest of the season. All of the heavy rain and historic flooding we've seen in recent weeks is leaving the ground very soft, but many places we've spoken to say that their apple crop hasn't seen much of an impact at all. But a lot of those orchards are still worried about the turnout so far this year for the apple picking season. Many orchards are hopeful for a better turnout of people coming out to pick. This is the time of year Appleberry Farm owners David and Sandra Wilds live for. It's already an extremely short season. With so many rainy days, they haven't seen a lot of visitors yet, and the apple picking days are numbered.
We only have 8 weeks for the main season. People don't come after Halloween typically, so it's the weekend weather that's the critical part. Obviously, we need to pick every day, but that's the big impact.
Last Saturday, they saw a decent amount of people with a drier day, but Sunday, we all know, was super quiet and dreary with all of the rain. Obviously, this week so far has been much of the same. They tell me they depend on business over the weekends in order to have a successful year. I also asked them if this past weekend with the colder temperatures affected them, and they say apples are usually good unless temperatures get down well into the 20s. Coming up just after 6:30, why they say they are pushing for people to check out the orchards before taking the easy way and going right to the grocery store. That's coming up a little later in the newscast.
Perfect day to get out there, check out the apple orchards. Maybe we'll do our part, head out and grab a couple of bushels.
Give it a go.
Not a bad idea. All right, Josh Breider reporting live for us. Thanks, Josh.
6:05 right now. If you do hear a siren later today in the Rock County area, authorities want to remind you, don't worry, it is just a drill, and it's actually the last one of the year. The siren is set to be tested at 12:05 later today. So if you notice your area siren is not working for any reason, you should call the Rock County Sheriff's Office Emergency Management Bureau. That number is 608-758-8440. That's 758-8440. Siren testing will resume in April. The system does remain active year-round, even when it's not being routinely tested.
You should also expect an alert on your phone today from the president. The federal government will test its National Emergency Alert System for the first time this afternoon. That will happen at 1:18 p.m. our time, and there's no way to opt out of the program. This presidential alert has been in development since 2006. It's meant to warn people about a national crisis or disaster.
Madison city leaders are looking at plans to add an 11-story apartment building close to downtown that would also include space for kids and teens to explore the arts. The Urban Design Commission will consider the next phase of the Lyric project later today. That will be built on the corner of East Washington Avenue and Ingersoll Street. It's about a block away from Breeze Stevens Field, right next to the existing complex there. Now, the mixed-use development will include 120 apartment units and 290 spaces for parking in a garage. There will also be a building on that property to house the Youth Arts Consortium. That's a partnership between the Madison Youth Choirs and the Children's Theater of Madison. The 4-story facility facing East Mifflin Street will give those nonprofits a permanent space for rehearsals and after-school activities.
That commission is also getting its first look at blueprints for a new shelter at one of Madison's most popular downtown parks. We're talking about James Madison Park along Lake Mendota. You're seeing some pretty snazzy mock-ups of what the new building might look like. The city's been collecting public input on those options. This one includes bathrooms, a community room, a sports rental area, and even a cafe that would face the water. Plans should be approved by park commissioners next month. There is another meeting later tonight for you to learn how to help Madison pay for some big improvements over at Olbrich Botanical Gardens.
Yeah, it's through a mini bond program that hasn't been tried since the 1970s. Christina Laurie joins us this morning with how this will work and what exactly that money would be used for. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, ladies. Bonds are usually sold in denominations of $5,000, but the city has lowered that amount to $500 to make them more accessible for community members. The bonds will be available on a first-come, first-served basis from now until Tuesday. The bonds are 10-year notes, at which time people can cash them in and collect interest. The money raised will go towards building a new learning center and an energy-efficient greenhouse where staff will be able to grow even more flowers and plants. In total, the project will cost an estimated $12 million and will be the garden's first expansion in nearly 20 years. In that time, annual attendance at Olbrich has nearly tripled. Construction should take about a year to complete. If you're interested in learning more, though, the city is hosting an informational meeting at 6 o'clock tonight at the Warner Park Community Recreation Center.
It'll be really interesting to see how much interest there is in this program because it's certainly unique.
Absolutely, and people in Madison, as we know, love the outdoors, so I'm sure they'll be on board.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Christina, thank you so much for that information.
Almost 6:09 your time now. Lawmakers say they won't decide the fate of 500 jobs at a plant in northeastern Wisconsin until after the election. We're talking about Kimberly Clark, who's waiting on a tax incentive package to convince them not to shutter their papermaking facility. The latest on that is coming up.
Hattie did some research this morning and found out that October 29th is the latest day that we have seen temperatures in the 80s for any given year. Yeah, well, last time we were anywhere near the 80s, or next time we will be next year. I'm pretty certain about that. Hattie's got a brief return to summer along with the chance for storms when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning from the patio. Today is an alert day, mainly for the evening hours with the potential for severe thunderstorms across the area. Take a look at this graphic. Again, during the evening, high winds and hail, as well as brief heavy rain as some thunderstorms move through the region. Now this morning, things are pretty quiet across southern Wisconsin, although there is some rain ongoing north of our viewing area. While there's an outside chance for a shower or an isolated thunderstorm through the day, the best chance comes after 5 p.m. for southern Wisconsin. And that severe weather outlook does indicate an enhanced risk for severe weather for northeastern Wisconsin. For areas north and west of Madison, it's a slight risk for severe weather this evening. Temperatures are definitely warmer today already than they were yesterday. Our high yesterday was 56 degrees. We're already at 59 here in Madison. 60 is close to 70 across central Iowa this morning. Here's a closer look at southern Wisconsin. It is 62 in Platteville, 65 right now in Boscobel, 59 in the Dells, as well as here in Madison, 58 in Watertown. Southerly winds are already in place this morning, and they're going to increase through the morning hours. It's going to be a very windy day today with those south winds anywhere from 15 to 25 miles an hour sustained, but gusting higher at times. Now, as a cold front moves through the area this evening, watch what happens to those winds. Northwesterly winds settle in overnight, which means a cooler day tomorrow. Just to give you an idea of the kind of wind gusts that we're expecting today, those winds could gust in the 30 to 35 mile an hour range in most areas through the afternoon into the evening. The wind should diminish a little bit overnight, but it's still likely to stay pretty breezy through tomorrow. Here's a look at future tracks showing you an outside chance for a little bit of rain early this morning. Temperatures, though, will climb quickly today. We are already in the 70s by lunchtime. Variably cloudy skies this afternoon. Any spots that even see just a little bit of sunshine are going to see a pretty rapid warm up. Forecasting highs right around 80 in most locations. By 7 o'clock, that front beginning to move into the area, and you can see the rain accompanying it. Again, the rain will move through pretty quickly, clearing the area by midnight, setting us up for a cooler day tomorrow. Because it's moving through so fast, amounts of rain generally less than a half an inch. But again, we really don't need any additional rain here in southern Wisconsin, so even a half an inch could be problematic in some areas. Temperatures are on a wild ride the next day or so. 81 today, then 58 for a high tomorrow. Wet weather then continues Friday right into next week with chances for rain nearly every day. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Well, quiet start on the Beltline so far this morning. Nothing really to slow you down heading east or westbound. Checking out some routes here in Dane County. Some of the usual brake lights are popping up on Stoughton Road and Verona Road approaching the Beltline ramps. Everything moving well downtown around the Capitol Square and on UW campus. Volume is definitely not an issue at this point. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're moving along at the posted speeds with no crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
All right, thanks, Josh. Thanks, Hattie. 6:15 your time now. State senators plan to return to the Capitol next month to vote on a tax incentive package for Kimberly Clark.
Yeah, Governor Walker and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald announced the extraordinary session yesterday morning. Governor Walker wants lawmakers to approve a $100 million tax incentive package to keep that paper manufacturer in the Fox Valley area and the hundreds of people that it employs safe in their jobs. Now, Senate Democrats say there aren't enough votes to pass that package. Kimberly Clark initially gave the state a deadline of September 30th to approve the deal. Now the company says it won't make any final decisions on its Neenah factory until that extraordinary session is over. Lawmakers plan to vote on the package a week after the November election.
An oil refinery in northern Wisconsin is facing more than $83,000 in fines after an explosion there in April. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, handed down those fines after 11 employees were hurt at Husky Energy in Superior. The agency says Husky failed to control the use and release of hazardous chemicals.
There could be hundreds of new jobs available in the DeForest area after the newest Fleet Farm store opens today. The company's CEO says that store will add between 150 and 200 jobs to the area, with up to 10 new positions at the corporate office as well. Now, people living around Dane County have been writing to that CEO for decades, asking for a store to be built here in the area. The soft opening is today. The grand opening is on Saturday.
Get the Badger gear and the folding chairs ready. The committee that decides city events is talking Bucky, homecoming, and parade plans tonight. Specifically, that commission will consider shutting down a block of Langdon Street for the block party on Friday, October 19th. That's one of many events that are planned for that weekend. The parade goes through the downtown area that Friday night at 6, and there's a special fish fry for alumni over at the Union. Then on game day, there's a special multicultural tailgate and watch party. Lots of options to choose from. Kickoff against Illinois is at 11 a.m.
Starting next fall, some students at Edgewood College will get a private school education at a public school price. Edgewood College's in-tuition grant program will help students who excel in academics get a small college experience at a tuition rate comparable to that of UW-Madison. Now, students accepted into the program will be guaranteed the same level of aid for all 4 years they're in school. The new program will be available to first-time, full-time freshmen in fall of next year.
If you're looking for a fun activity for the kiddos tonight, the Madison Children's Museum is hosting a Latinx Heritage Month celebration. There will be food, art, and performances over at that event. It's part of their Free Family Night series. It happens on the first Wednesday of every month. This event goes from 5 until 8 tonight, and again, it's free for everyone.
6:18 right now, a biotechnology company can officially start building in Rock County, and it would be making something that has never been produced on American soil. We will check in on the progress for Shine Medical Technologies coming up.
I'm not necessarily complaining that it's going to be almost 80 degrees today, over 80 really. I'm just a little confused. What month are we in right now?
Seriously.
Patty has a roller coaster first alert forecast straight ahead when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. An alert day is in the forecast today due to the threat for severe weather coming this evening. High winds, hail, and brief heavy rain will be possible, mainly north and west of Madison. Now, our satellite and radar trends right now showing you pretty quiet conditions. A lot of clouds still lingering in the area early today. South winds, though, overnight are already causing temperatures to climb. 59 here in Madison, 63 now in Janesville and Platteville, 65 in Boscobel. The probability of precipitation is relatively low through the day. It really starts to increase after 5 or 6 o'clock this evening, especially here in Madison. Your bus stop weather forecast then, so that means just a mild, even warm day on the playground today and at the bus stop. High temperatures will be near 80 degrees later on this afternoon. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Hattie. A company hoping to make a life-saving medical isotope in Janesville now has permission to start building. The Janesville Gazette reports the City Plan Commission approved permits for Shine Medical Technologies to start construction just east of the airport along Highway 51. That's where researchers will make a product known as Molly 99, which can help detect cancer and heart disease. Right now, that isotope has to be imported from overseas, which makes it pretty expensive for labs to access here in America. Work on the new facility is expected to start next spring, with it opening by 2020.
Researchers say that while penicillin is the most commonly reported drug allergy in the country, lots of people might actually be wrong about it. About 10% of the population thinks they're allergic to the antibiotic. That can mean they're using more difficult or more expensive or even more toxic treatments for infections. But experts say about 90% of those people can take penicillin without any problems because they've outgrown their allergy. In response, SSM Health is encouraging people to get tested. It takes just about 2 hours to complete, and it could save you money and more health problems in the future.
A Wisconsin man is thanking his doctors after a rare infection led to the amputation of parts of his arms and legs. Greg Mantefel has been out of the hospital now for 2 weeks after contracting a rare blood disease back in June. Doctors believe that disease came from a dog's lick. His doctors say once his skin heals up, he will be able to get prosthetics and have nose and lip reconstruction surgeries. Mantefel says he is looking forward to be able to drive once again once he's used to the prosthetics. And yes, he still does love dogs.
From dog lover to dog lover, that is terrifying.
That is really scary, but very, very rare, as they've been saying since this happened over the summer. I mean, just bizarre.
Very true. We're wishing him a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
All right, almost 6:25 your time now. Wisconsin is about to get a visit from the Trump administration this month ahead of the November elections. We'll tell you which White House leader is headed our way.
And Dane County's sheriff says he has to start from scratch as current plans to build up the jail could be toppled over by Mother Nature. The news is back in the morning on News 3 this morning. Madison's mayor will lay out what he thinks it will cost to keep the city running next year. We're looking ahead to that announcement.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Technical difficulties with Josh there. We swear he has not turned into a watercolor. Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. 6:28 now on this Wednesday, October 3rd.
Josh is actually out at an apple orchard. Perfect day to be out there enjoying this weather. We're supposed to be seeing a 20-degree temperature difference today. Hattie's outside enjoying it as well. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning. Yeah, mild temperatures and very windy conditions are in the forecast today. Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin due to the potential for severe thunderstorms coming later on this evening. Should also be a skirt alert for today as well, with those south winds gusting up to 35 miles an hour as well. So be careful today. A live look from the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville, though, showing you actually a little bit of clear sky there. May see a little bit of sunshine in Platteville this morning. That alert day, though, is in effect for this evening. High winds and hail, as well as some brief heavy rain, will be possible with these storms as they move through. And as you know, we definitely don't need any additional rain here in southern Wisconsin. For the time being this morning, it is quiet across the area with the rain affecting the northern part of the state. There's an outside chance for a shower or thunderstorm through the day, but our best chance comes after 5 o'clock this evening. So dry for most of us through the day, with high temperatures climbing to 81 degrees. Feeling like summer today. We do see a quick cool down, though, for tomorrow. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic conditions this morning. We start in Lafayette County. This is near Darlington, where there are road closures due to water over the road. So you're going to have to route around that, making travel difficult, to say the least, in Darlington. Also a closure near Blanchardville this morning. Here in Madison, no major delays or road closures or accidents to report right now. If you are traveling in to Madison from the surrounding communities, you're still going mostly at posted speeds. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, thank you so much, Hattie. 6:30 right now. We start this morning in Rock County, where a woman is recovering after police say a man attempted to strangle her to death on the east side of Beloit. Police say 29-year-old Jonathan Castro choked that woman before beating her in the head with a hammer at his home Monday night. The victim was taken to a Janesville hospital with a skull fracture. She is expected to be okay. Officers say a baby was at the house at that time and is now in the care of Child Protective Services. Castro remains in the Rock County Jail this morning. He could face up to 6 charges, including first-degree and attempted homicide. Now, Beloit police are reminding people to reach out if they need help, especially if they're involved in any sort of domestic violence incident. We have a number of resources listed over on channel3000.com.
There is a committee meeting later today to talk about new plans for the Dane County Jail. As the sheriff says, plans to build it on top of the public safety building aren't safe. Sheriff Dave Mahoney says adding those additional floors could cause the building to tip over during high winds. At a meeting this afternoon, county officials will now talk about building an entirely new tower behind that building in place of the parking lot that's there right now. It'll be about the same height as the courthouse there, with the same square footage as the previous design. Under this new plan, the jail will open in 2020 instead of 2019.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin will release his final budget proposal as mayor later today. He will share his operating budget at 11 o'clock this morning at his office downtown. We'll be sure to share that information as soon as we can over on channel3000.com. The operating budget pays for things like public housing, police and fire salaries, and employment assistance programs. Mayor Soglin already released his capital budget, which includes funding for the Madison Public Market and Judge Doyle Square. In all, it invests more than $1 billion, I should say, in projects over the next 5 years. Council will spend the next month or so reviewing the budgets and making amendments before approving those plans.
Dane County officials are reviewing their budget plan for next year. County Executive Joe Parisi announced his plan this week. It includes an operational budget of over $500 million and a capital budget of about $63 million. That plan sets aside about $18 million to prevent future flooding and another $20 million for an expansion over at the Dane County Airport. Parisi is also proposing more money for mental health and drug addiction resources. The Board of Supervisors will start talking about that budget plan on November 12th.
Vice President Mike Pence will be making his way to Wisconsin next week to show his support for Governor Scott Walker ahead of next month's elections. Vice President Pence will host a pair of events in support of his longtime friend and political colleague. Those will take place in Green Bay and Eau Claire on October 10th. Vice President Pence was last in Wisconsin in late August when he held a fundraiser for Republican U.S. Senate Senate candidate Leah Vukmir. Vukmir is running against incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin. Both Baldwin and Walker's opponent, Tony Evers, have been ahead in the latest polls. Just this week, former President Barack Obama announced his endorsement for those Democratic candidates.
State Republicans are standing by their decision not to accept federal Medicaid expansion money. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said, quote, "No way, never," when he asked whether he'd change his tune if Democratic candidate Tony Evers beat Governor Walker in the November election. Governor Walker's decision to reject that federal money has cost the state around $700 million in aid since 2014. Evers has criticized Walker for turning down that money, saying it would lower health care costs in the state. The governor says Medicaid expansion would bring higher costs for the state without enough aid money to cover it. 6:34 your time now. Buy local, eat local. That's the message a local apple orchard has for you at home to help them fight a slow start to an already short season.
Yeah, as we continue trudging through a pretty soggy season, a Dane County orchard is asking all of us to consider embracing it and getting a bit muddy maybe. Josh Breiter is out there doing just that at Appleberry Farm near Cross Plains. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. The days of apple picking here at Appleberry Farm are limited. The season usually wraps up in mid to late October. We showed you earlier how many orchards in the area are seeing lower numbers of visitors this year because of so many rainy days. These orchards live for this time of year. David and Sandra Wilds have owned Appleberry Farms for 17 years. They say authenticity is what you'll find at the local orchard versus going to the grocery store.
We really want to show people how it takes a lot of work to grow an apple or other produce that we grow, and it's a year-round effort, not just the days they come out to pick.
At Appleberry Farms, you'll find more than 70 different varieties of apples, and every year they work to keep up to the demand of new things. They say they also work hard to include many products made by local entrepreneurs across the state of Wisconsin. You'll find anything from honey, syrup, and of course, all of that delicious cider. The Wilds say they just want you to support your local orchard, whether it's theirs or somewhere else. Lee and Danica, I'm told they're going to have a fresh batch of apple donuts this morning. How do you like them apples?
I was waiting for some more bad puns. You can't get away from them with Josh.
Nope, most certainly not.
All right. Our Josh Breiter reporting live for us. Thanks, Josh.
6:35 right now. There's a way for you to invest in Olbrich Botanical Gardens, and we haven't seen a program like this one since tie-dye and bell-bottoms were fashionable. We'll tell you about that in the morning sprint.
And a second round against the Brewers just isn't in the cards for the Cubs. We're looking ahead to the playoffs after last night's record-breaking wild card game when News 3 This Morning returns.
Welcome back, 6:39. We always ask you to share your morning with us, and Paula posted this one on Facebook, a busy humming bee, just as the sun rose in Monticello. Just a gorgeous picture, Paula, and good thinking and quick hands on the picture here, getting that hummingbird in the shot. Please share your photos with us, however you might do that, on social media or email, whatever it is. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and Leah and I share our favorites every morning on the program.
For anyone in need of a winter coat, our Coats for Kids handout event is coming up soon.
Yeah, we are up to 3,926 coats so far. To get one for your kids or yourself, you can stop by the Community Action Coalition on North Stoughton Road starting October 16th. If you're still looking to donate, Clinky Cleaners and Lucier Family YMCA, that is, locations will be taking coats through Saturday.
Time now is 6:40. After what was the longest wild card game in MLB history, the Brewers now know who they'll be facing in Thursday's playoff game.
Yeah, the Colorado Rockies will be moving ahead in the playoffs after winning 2-1 in 13 innings over the Cubs last night at Wrigley Field, or really this morning. It was just after midnight. That means the Rockies head to Milwaukee to play the Brewers tomorrow afternoon. It kicks off a best-of-5 series. Brewers will be at home Thursday and Friday. Then they will head to Colorado for Sunday's game.
You can bet they'll be playing for a packed Miller Park on Thursday, and the Milwaukee Business Journal reports the Brew Crew has the 10th best attendance record in baseball. Numbers were released yesterday for every major league team. The Brewers are in the top 10, even though they're the smallest metropolitan market in the league. On top of that, the average league attendance is down about 4%, but the Brewers are up 11%. Only the Houston Astros and Philadelphia Phillies had a bigger increase.
So our friend Gary Canalti and all of you Cubs fans out there might be feeling a little defeated this morning after staying up late to watch the 2018 season come to an end, maybe even eating some words after smack talking Brewers fans.
Yeah, that's the case here. There is one fan who is taking the loss pretty graciously, though. Nathan Marzian is a Cubbies fan who lives in Milwaukee. Oof, rough. And he says he'll write an apology letter to thousands of Brewers fans after tweeting the Brew Crew wouldn't finish ahead of the Cubs this year. He made that bet months ago, and it blew up on social media yesterday after the Brewers retweeted him. Marzian says he'll write the 1,000-word letter and email it to anyone who wants a copy.
So he's also using this attention to raise money, though, for a good cause. He's asking anyone reaching out to him on social media to donate to Anthony Rizzo's Family Foundation, which supports children and families battling cancer.
What a good-natured fan.
Yeah, most definitely. You got to take it in stride, right? If you're going to make that prediction way early in the season, you got to be able to back it up and then, do something about it if it doesn't pan out.
And people can get ripped up on social media. So for him to take that and say, okay, I'll write you an apology letter, that's pretty nice.
And to turn it around, raise money for a good cause.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
Good on you. All right, 6:42 your time now. Throw out your calendar today because we have no idea what month it is. When the high is near 80, but the stores are selling holiday stuff. Still, not a lot of sunshine to go along with that heat wave, at least this morning. Sunrise officially about 15 minutes away. Hattie's in next with your First Alert forecast.
First, though, it is October 3rd. We want to say happy birthday to Tyler, Harrison, and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thank you so much for letting us help celebrate here on News 3 this morning.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. On this Wednesday, we have an alert day in the forecast for mainly the evening hours. Severe thunderstorms are possible, especially north and west of Madison. That's where that yellow shaded slight risk area is. And it looks like the main threats will be high winds and hail. Some brief heavy downpours are possible as well. Normally that wouldn't be severe, but southern Wisconsin definitely does not need any additional rain. Here's a look at precipitation potential. The rain ends overnight tonight, so by 1:30 in the morning, the rain already done. Most areas picking up less than a half an inch with this particular system. Here's a look at Doppler track this morning, and while things are quiet here across southern Wisconsin, not the case for the northern half of the state where showers and thunderstorms continue to roll. Activity out in Iowa is likely going to move to the north and east as well, so most of southern Wisconsin staying dry through the day today. There's an outside chance for a shower or an isolated thunderstorm through the day, but our better chances come as a cold front moves through. Now, a warm front passing this morning will bring strong southerly winds and very mild conditions, but the rain really associated with this cold front moving through during the evening hours, quickly clearing the area by tomorrow morning. So sun is in the forecast for tomorrow, but a big change in temperatures as well. We're back to temps a little closer to normal for this time of the year. High pressure on Thursday, though, is not going to stick around too long. Moisture already building to the south and west, and it's a parade of storms Friday heading through next week. So lots of rain in the forecast. Right now, though, no airport delays in the area or around the country at any of the major airports, so that is good news. If today is a travel day for you, don't forget the tank tops and flip-flops if you're heading south or southeast. Take a look at the 90s on the map today. Memphis, St. Louis, Omaha, all topping in the 90s with sunshine today. Temperatures pretty comfortable out west, but there's some rain in LA with highs in the lower 70s. Here's a look at what we have this morning a little closer to home. The view from the Edgewater Sky Cam showing you mostly cloudy skies this morning here in Madison. 59 degrees is our temperature. Winds are already from the south at 9, so temperatures are climbing. 60s on the map west of Madison early today. Those south winds will be increasing in wind speed through the afternoon, 15 to 25 miles an hour with some higher gusts possible. Once that front moves through, it's a northwesterly wind for tomorrow. And again, here's a closer look at that front passing through the area. Scattered showers and thunderstorms as we go through the evening, but again, coming to an end pretty quickly. Tomorrow morning, temperatures will be back in the 40s. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have temperatures that will go through a big change over the next 24 hours. 81 for the high today, 58 tomorrow. And then keep that umbrella handy. Unfortunately, you'll need the umbrella more than the sunglasses looking at that 10-day forecast. Temperatures, though, at least aren't too chilly. I love today's pet walk forecast.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Riley.
That's good stuff.
Riley's got
Just
the right
going for
idea.
it.
It's a pool day, Riley.
It is. I don't know if any
Love
pools
that.
are still open.
Looks like Riley found one over at the county park.
Yeah. Thanks for sending that in. What a great picture.
Love it. All right. Thanks, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Your morning sprint's coming up next on News 3 This Morning. Stay with us. 6:52, time now for the morning sprint. It is an alert day for more thunderstorms. Plus, we get a taste of summer with the temperatures. Orchards are hoping you have a taste for apples as they continue to deal with a wet season. Josh Spreiter has an update on that.
And Christina Laurie tells us how people in Madison can help out with the expansion of Old Brick Botanical Gardens. But we start in Beloit this morning, where a man could be in court as early as today after police say he tried to strangle a woman to death. 29-year-old Jonathan Castro is facing 6 charges, including first-degree attempted homicide in that case. Officers say he choked the woman before beating her in the head with a hammer at his home Monday night. She is in the hospital with a skull fracture, but is expected to be okay. Beloit police are reminding people to reach out for help if they're involved in any type of unsafe situation at home.
The Pecatonica River continues to rise this morning despite predictions from the National Weather Service. It's cresting a whole foot above what was expected. That's led to road closures and schools in Darlington being canceled for the day. Highways 81 and 23 are blocked in both directions. County roads G and K have been flooded since last night. And Highway 78 in Blanchardville is also closed this morning for flooding.
Back in Madison, city engineers are also watching water levels in case of potential flooding and more street closures here. The city's engineering department says lake levels haven't peaked yet this time around, but if those levels rise another inch or two, that could cause closures over on East Johnson Street. That's the same area that shut down for weeks during the last round of flooding.
I'm Josh Spreiter live at Appleberry Farm near Cross Plains, where the owners here are hoping for no more rain this season. All of the rain we've had this year is leaving the ground super soft, and that means any windy conditions could leave trees toppling over. Luckily, I'm told all of the moisture is having little impact on the apple crop itself. But now that we're well into the apple picking season, many orchards are hopeful for a better turnout of people coming out to pick. It's already an extremely short season. With so many rainy days, orchards haven't seen a lot of visitors yet. They want you to remember to shop local and eat local this month. That's how their businesses survive.
And maybe you want to head out to the orchard during the day today, a warm one, but there is the potential for severe weather coming later on this evening. Severe thunderstorms will be possible with high winds and hail, as well as some rain. Through the day, it is going to be a windy day. Those south winds around 20 miles an hour through the day, gusting even higher. Look at that high temperature, though. We're topping in the low 80s this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Hattie. Kimberly Clark says it will wait until lawmakers convene next month before deciding whether to close plants in the Fox Valley area. That could leave hundreds of people without a job. Governor Walker and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald announced senators would head back to the state capitol after next month's midterms to vote on a $100 million tax incentive package for that paper manufacturer. Senate Democrats say there aren't enough votes to pass it.
State Republicans are standing by their decision not to accept federal Medicaid expansion money. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said, quote, "No way, never," when asked whether he'd change his tune if Democratic candidate Tony Evers beat Governor Walker in the November election. Governor Walker's decision to reject that money has cost the state around $700 million in aid since 2014. The governor says Medicaid expansion would bring higher costs for Wisconsin without enough aid money to cover it.
There's a meeting happening later today to talk about new plans for the Dane County Jail after Sheriff Dave Mahoney says the current plan for the $75 million in renovations isn't feasible. He says adding floors to the top of the current public safety building could cause that building to tip in high winds. County leaders are now discussing building an entirely new tower in place of a parking lot that's now behind the public safety building.
Just $500, you can help fund the multi-million-dollar expansion of the Old Brick Botanical Gardens, the first in nearly 20 years. From now through Tuesday, the city is selling $500 bonds on a first-come, first-served basis. There are 10-year notes, at which time people can cash them in and collect interest. The money collected will help pay for the construction of a new learning center and an energy-efficient greenhouse where staff will be able to grow even more flowers and plants. If you're interested in learning more, the city is hosting an informational session at 6 o'clock tonight at the Warner Park Community Recreation Center.
Thanks so much, Christina. After what was the longest wildcard game in MLB history, the Brewers will be facing the Colorado Rockies in Thursday's playoff game. The Rockies beat the Cubs last night 2-1 in a 13-inning game over at Wrigley Field. That means the Rockies are heading to Milwaukee Thursday to kick off a best-of-5 series. The Brewers will be at home Thursday and Friday, then they'll head to Colorado for Sunday's game.
6:57, almost your time. Let's turn it over one more time to Josh Tim with a look at First Alert traffic. Good morning, Josh.
Morning, guys. It's picking up on the westbound side of the Beltline with the usual crowd beginning to show up now between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. Going to add about 5 minutes to your drive time. World Dairy Expo going on this week, so extra volume on John Nolan. But so far, a few brake lights near the Olin Avenue intersection. Really nothing that'll slow you down too much. Another main routes heading into Madison. They're moving along at the posted speeds right now with no crashes or delays. With your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
And here's the view outside from the WISC-TV Skycam. A lot of clouds this morning, but a few breaks or holes in the cloud cover there. Temperatures are going to warm quickly today. We're looking at highs in the low 80s this afternoon. Rain chances really start to increase after 5 p.m. this evening. Some severe weather is possible, so today is an alert day for that severe weather threat this evening. A big cool down then for tomorrow.
We're going to continue to keep an eye on any flooding issues in southwest Wisconsin. Be sure to download our First Alert weather app for updates. Thanks for joining us.